Hey guys, I'm Tom Rohr, and I've been skating for over 20 years. I'm here to give you all the details that you need to know to learn tricks as fast and efficiently as possible, and of course make it fun in the process. Every trick has that one tip that you should never forget. Once you know what that is, it's in the bag. Let's get into it. Welcome back, guys. Today, we're doing our first ledge tutorial, and I'm starting off with one of my favorite ledge tricks, backside tail slides. I know it's a harder one, and I'll get into some easier ones as well, but I just thought this would be a fun one to fire it off with. So let's get into it. As always, let's start with the foot position. For the back foot, you want your foot in the center of the tail, just like you do for ollies. You don't want it hanging way too off the edge. You don't want it too far back here. The more you have it in the center so you can see a little bit of that grip tape around the edge of it, that's gonna give you the best pop. And you need good snap to get into this trick. Now the front foot. I like to have my front foot angled a little bit, just up here behind the bolts, just like I'm ollieing into anything. And it varies depending on what you're doing. But this is the foot position that I like to have for back tails. And you can make little adjustments if you have shorter or longer legs. When you're rolling up to this trick, you want to stand up on your back toes, so your heel is lifted up in the air. That helps you put more pressure down on the tail and get a better pop. And then your front foot, I actually keep my front foot flat for this trick. You know, I do have most of my weight on the ball of my foot, so my heel feels a little bit lighter, almost like it's lifting up. But in general, you want to be up on your toes on your back foot and have your front foot flat. Now let's talk angle. So I like to roll up to it at a slight angle, not too parallel, because if you go too parallel, for some reason when I do that, my heel sticks on the top of the ledge a lot easier. And it makes it also easier sometimes to slip out this way. So for me, by going at a slight angle, it helps you lock on the ledge more and hold it for longer. If you go at too much of an angle though, that can also cause you to stick. That actually will cause you to stick even more on the top of the ledge and your heel to get caught. As you're learning them though, it's gonna feel safer to go at a little bit more of an angle, and you can do that to get comfortable with it. It's actually a good way to practice this trick, is to go a little bit more angle and just practice getting into it like this. You could even step your foot on top of the ledge. It can be a little bit scary because you can stick, but if you're not going that fast, it's just a good way to get really comfortable with it and work your way up to sliding it and going at less of an angle. Also important is where you're looking. So as you roll up to it, you want to look at the ledge right where you're going to get into it. Then your board is going to follow where your eyes are looking. Then after you lock in, that's when you shift your eyes to look toward where you're sliding. It'll help you balance out so much. This is probably the most important part of doing this trick, and it's how you pop and get into it. So with back tails, you want to pop and slap the tail into the ledge. It's a fast motion, and it's almost a late motion. So you get a good snap, you pop and turn late, and you want to make sure you pop just high enough to get into the ledge. So ollie, slam it in there. That's going to help you so much with the slide. It'll help you avoid too much friction on the ledge. You don't want to over pop and come down onto it. That's also one of the best tips with this trick, is pop just high enough. Slam it in. That'll help so much with the slide. What happens? So watch some of them that I do in slow motion. You can see how I pop first and then turn late to get into it. You can even practice the motion on flat ground or on a little curb. Practice the ollie in the late turn. I think you just want to, like a magnet, slap it into the back tail. Now let's talk shoulders. Your shoulders play such a big role in this trick, like a lot of tricks in skateboarding that require you to rotate a little bit. When you pop and get in, you want to turn your legs but not your shoulders. So your arms will play a big role in that. See, my arms are already facing this way out, and you want them to keep facing that way all the way through the trick. So you go to pop, see how my arms, they're going out the same way that they were facing when I rolled up to it. That will help your shoulders continue facing this way, so just your legs turn. And then when you're coming out, you're automatically going to want to turn back this way. If you're going to fakie, however, that's another story. Then you can turn your shoulders like this and continue going with it. So now you know how to get into it. Now let's get into sliding. So this trick is super precise in that you can't be too far up on top of it because your heel will get caught on the top of the ledge. There'll be too much friction on your tail sliding on top of the ledge also. It's going to cause you to stick really easily. So you have to find that perfect medium to where you're up pretty high, but not all the way up. So you have a little bit of space between the tail and the ledge right here. If your board's too far down though, it's just gonna slip off the ledge eventually. So it's about finding that perfect spot. You'll feel it. Once you start sliding them, you'll know, like, am I too far up on the ledge or is it too far down? And with this trick, because your wheels are rubbing against the side of the ledge and your tail is sliding on the top of it, you wanna wax up the side of the ledge a lot where those wheels are rubbing and wax the top where your tail's gonna be sliding. Don't be that guy though that cakes the ledge in wax. Only use enough. Put a little more on as you go if you need to. When you're getting in, you don't want to under rotate. You also don't want to over rotate. You have to figure out that perfect in between. If you under rotate it, it's going to be so easy to stick. Your wheels are going to stick on the side of the ledge. Your heel's going to get caught on the top of the ledge. It's just not going to work. It's almost safer to over rotate it than to under rotate it. Even though you can slip out, so you do have to be cautious with that. But if your shoulders are facing the right way, it is easier to slide that way. That's also why slamming it into it will help you slide a little bit better, because it's like that slam is that initial motion that gets you sliding. When you're sliding, if you stand too much on top of the ledge like this, that also causes you to stick. Watch me do one. I stand leaning a little bit out, but pretty much right above my board. You also want almost all your weight on your back foot, just enough on the front foot to support you. But that also helps when you slam it in there. You have all that weight on your back foot right when you get into it. That's how you hold the back tail. You also want to keep your arms as steady as you can right when you get into it. If you're flopping around, it's going to throw off your balance. It really helps to be relaxed and to have really good balance as you're rolling up to it. And then while you're sliding through it, try not to let those arms move too much and you'll glide right through the slide. Once you got that slide down, now you're coming out of it. At first, it's probably going to be easier to kind of like fall out of it, but that can cause your front wheels to hit the ground first and make it a lot harder to roll away. What really helps is giving it a little bit of a pop, almost like an ollie coming out. So you have all that weight on that back foot. You already won't be fully up on the ledge, so you'll have a little bit of room to lift your tail. Put the weight down on that back foot, angle your front foot, just like you do for an ollie, and just kind of pop it out. If you're having trouble popping it out like that, not quite ready to do that, it's gonna be easier to just fall out if you're at the end of the ledge versus in the middle of it. And notice, my shoulders are still facing this way, the same way as I was rolling up. And then you turn your legs and they'll want to go in the direction that your torso is facing. And then land on those bolts and roll away. That's it for backside tailslides, guys. I hope you liked my first ledge tutorial. Let me know if you want to see any other ledge tricks. Now I'm going to do a few back tails. I'll do one in slow motion, and then I'm going to give you some key takeaways that you can take home and practice them on the spot. Until next time, guys. Wait. You better not leave without saving these key takeaways. Ollie just high enough to get onto the ledge. Slam the tail onto the ledge, nice and fast. To slide better, avoid under-rotating as you're getting in. Turn your legs only and keep your arms and shoulders facing the same way. And lastly, slide with your tail not fully flat on the ledge. Thanks for watching another tutorial.